Hello, welcome everyone to another inventRight.com TV show. Steven, how you doing, man?
I'm doing great, Andrew. Glad to have you back.
Good. I'm back? Where was I? I've been here the whole
I
time.
know. I'm just teasing you.
So what's the topic for today?
Everybody's asking about contracts. They're asking about the money, really. That's what they're asking about when they say,
Okay.
hey, what about contracts? Talk about contracts. So we're going to dive in a little bit about contracts because, Andrew, as you know, it's very complicated and it takes, contract negotiation takes a skill. It takes a lot of time, probably more time than people imagine. So I would recommend that no one would ever sign a licensing agreement without having someone help them. If you haven't done it before, it's
very intimidating. I mean, when we see all the contracts that our students get from companies, rarely, never would you sign the contract as you get it from the company. Never. I mean, and we've had some students literally half of the contract has been changed. Sometimes not that much. That's a little extreme, but that's not unheard of. And it was really bad terms, and we helped the student change it, and literally half the contract's different. And some people have this impression like, oh, well, were they trying to screw me? And were they trying to screw them, or what's still there?
Yes. No. Yes.
The company's not a bad company. They're just trying to get terms on their side. And if you don't know what you're doing, you don't know what's good or what's bad.
Well, you don't. And when you first get this contract and you see it and you realize, you're right, what's going on here? You have to just realize it's a starting point. But before we get to the contract, I want to mention one thing. You never go straight to a contract.
Yeah, there's a whole process that happens before you get to a contract.
Yeah, it's called a term sheet.
No, even before that, you got to talk about.
Well, let's don't do that. Let's don't go too far. Well,
that's a whole other.
Yeah, but they want to be contract. But I want to say one thing before you go to a contract, because a contract is a very ugly document. Now, there's another part of this process. It's called a term sheet, and that's kind of, we're dating. We're happy. We actually like each other, and this term sheet is something that you would talk to them on the phone or maybe through email, and it's just big picture stuff. It might have the royalty rate. Is it an exclusive? It might have territory. It might have length of time. Really, really big, happy.
Why is that important to do that instead of just sending them some contract or?
Well, because if you cannot agree on the term sheet, why spend the money to a contract?
Right. If you can't agree on the major deal points, what's the point in hiring a licensing attorney? Yeah. What's the point in going round and round on the minutia of a contract?
So it's really simple, you guys. I'm going to repeat it one more time. It's big picture issues. We're dating. What the royalty rate could be. Is it an exclusive? The term, how long it's going to be? The territory, is it going to be territory could be an exclusive, but it's really about, it could be distribution, big stores, small stores, big box. It's really defining the territory, but it's all big picture. Now, once you agree to some of this big stuff, then you go to a contract. Now, a contract's like a marriage contract. You guys...
A marriage contract, really? I didn't know we all had those.
Well, people should, I think, because, it's all about when things go wrong.
Right.
Now, when they go right, when they go wrong.
It's like a prenuptial agreement.
Yeah, so the one thing I can tell everybody, the best advice that we can give, Andrew and myself can give after doing so many of these with our students, is that you have to have a great attitude going into it.
Now, explain what you mean by a great attitude. Tell me what a little bit of a bad attitude is. What would be a bad attitude?
You just have to realize the attitude should always be, I'm happy to be working with you. We're going to get this done. Always moving forward. I'm happy to be working with you. I'm excited, and we're going to get this done. Having a great attitude through the whole process is going to keep everything moving forward.
Not getting too upset if you don't agree with a deal point or they don't agree with one of your deal points and getting through it.
Yeah. And the other part of the advice I want to give everybody it's going to take a lot. It's going to probably take a month or so at least.
A month. I would say a month to 3 months is normal.
Well, it depends on how big the deal is, how big the company is. But remember this: don't try to get everything done at one time.
Right.
And you're going to do parts of this stuff slowly. But here's what I really like.
But everybody wants to get the deal done in 2 weeks.
I know.
Can I just get it done in 2 weeks?
Everybody's pulling their hair out and all that kind of great stuff. But what's great about it, you want to get through some of the easy stuff first, right? And you know why? The easy stuff, it gives you momentum.
Mm-hmm.
And
it's also creating a connection where you're agreeing on a few things.
And so you hit the easy ones first. Boom, boom, boom. So you're moving forward. You're investing time. Everybody's happy. And then later, we slip in some of the stuff that's a little bit to our favor.
Right.
Because I like to wear them down. Mm-hmm. I like to say they've got so much invested, we can slip the other stuff in at the end. And they're so tired at that point, they sign it. Now, that's big picture strategy, but I want to talk about a couple things in a contract.
Well, can I mention something about the timeline, too? This isn't one big phone call. You don't fly out, have a meeting at a boardroom table, and then sign something. It's 2 or 3 emails, a phone call, 5 or 6 emails, a phone call. Usually, I always tell people about 1 to 3 months of that. Back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. You don't try to do it all in one shot.
No.
Steven's advice is great.
Yeah, and you also, I would recommend having a good relationship with the person you're dealing with. Okay, and what I mean by that is sometimes through email things get misconstrued, right? So pick up the phone and say, hey, like, did you mean this? I'm not quite sure. Could you clarify this? Now, what we're talking about are really business terms too, you guys, right? Because you don't want an attorney negotiating for you business terms. You need to understand it yourself or have someone that understands business terms. Later, you're going to have a licensing attorney after you're done going through most of it to finally sign off to make sure you've done everything right. But that's why you need someone with experience, even with the business terms.
Well, that's why it's not smart to spend $200 to $300 for a licensing attorney that quite often will, pardon my language, piss the company off. Because they try to get too much for you. They rack up the billable hours. They try to get too much for you. There are also some issues that attorneys don't understand that have to do with manufacturing the products themselves. But are they fantastic at the very end when you're more or less done? Somebody to dot the I's and cross the T's? Got to have them.
Yeah, they hate us for doing that, Andrew. You know we do that with our students.
It's true.
I know.
Well, let's say you call 30 companies and force show interest. Every time you get a little interest, you call your attorney up.
I know.
Wow, that's going to get expensive. But if you try to agree on the major business terms and you can't agree on them, oh, great, I didn't pay an attorney $200 an hour to realize that we couldn't even agree on some basic things.
Yeah, and also one last thing, more than one last thing. In fact, we might want to do this in 2 segments because we haven't got to the terms yet. We're just talking about the whole situation.
Or 8 minutes in, we're not doing too bad. If you want to do it in 2 parts, we could do that.
We might have to because there's so much to this, and I really want to dive in. But I want to say this, Andrew's right. Our philosophy is that you negotiate the business terms, and we'll talk about what those are in the next video. And then you bring in maybe a licensing attorney that can help you on some of the other issues. And the reason why, you're right, to lower your cost. Because this thing could be thousands of dollars if you bring this guy in. But we also do this because we know what we want from a business standpoint. And licensing attorneys will protect you to death almost.
Well, they kill the deal, yeah.
At times. But I love them because sometimes they're so needed. But when do you need them? That's the catch.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. So, we try to limit these shows to 8 to 10 minutes, guys. So we're going to do more of this on the next show, continuation. So thank you for joining us for another inventRight.com TV show.
Give us the thumbs up.
Yeah, look down there. Give us a thumbs up. Join the channel, too, if you really like the channel. And click on more information below to learn more about us also. But we're going to do another show on this. We're going to continue. What are we going to continue with, Steve? We're
going to talk about what the terms are, what the business terms are, what the big ones are that you have to watch out for.
Excellent. Right. Catch up with you next time, guys. Bye.